In Gita chapter 18, verse number 62, the Lord Himself is saying that Arjun, you should take refuge in that Supreme God, by whose grace the supreme peace and eternal peace, that is, Satlok, will be attained. Who is this God? Where is He? What is He like? To unravel all these mystical secrets, must listen the nectar words of Jagat Guru Tattvadarshi, Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj, based on the holy scriptures of all religions.
सतगुरुदेव की जय। बंदी छोड़ कबीर परमेश्वर जी की जय। बंदी छोड़ गरीबदास जी महाराज जी की जय। स्वामी रामदेवानंद जी गुरु महाराज जी की जय। गरीब नमो नमो सतपुरुष को नमस्कार, गुरु की नहीं सुर नर मुनि जन साधुओं संतों सर्वस्ती नहीं। सतगुरु साहेब संत सब डंडो तुम प्रणाम, आगे पीछे मध्य हुए तिनको जा कुर्बान। नराकार निर्विषम काल जाल वैवंदनम निर्लेपम निज निर्गुणम, अकल अनुपवेशं धुनम सोहम सुरति समापतम सकल समाना नीरतल। उज्ज्वल हीरंबर हरदमं बेपरवा अथाह वार पार नहीं मध्यतम। ग्रीव जो सुमर सिद्ध होई, गणनायक गलता ना करो अनुग्रह सोई, पारस पद परवाना। आदि गणेश मनाऊं, गणनायक देवन देवा, चरण कमल लो लाऊं, आजंत करूं सेवा। परम शक्ति संगीतम रिद्धि सिद्धि दाता सोई, अवगत गुण अतीतम सतपुरुष निर्मोही। जगदम्बा जगदीशम मंगल रूप मुरारी, तन मन अर्पों शीसम भक्ति मुक्ति भंडारी। सुर नर मुनि जन ध्यावें, ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेशा, शेष सहस मुख गावें, पूजें आज गणेशा। इंद्र कुबेर सरीखा, वरुण धर्मराय धावें, समर्थ जीवन जी का मन इच्छा फल पावें। 33 कोटि आधारा, जावे से 88, उतरे बहु जल पारा, कट है यम की फांसी। 33 कोटि आधारा, जावे से 88, उतरे बहु जल पारा, कट है यम की फांसी। कर जोरूं विनती करूं, धरूं चरण पर शीस। गुरु जी राम देवानंद जी महाराज ने दियो नाम बख्शीश। कोटि कोटि सिजदा करूं, कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। चरण कमल में राखियो मैं बंदी जाम गुलाम। कुत्ता हूँ गुरु देव का, रामपाल दास का नाम। गले प्रेम की जेवड़ी, जहाँ खेचो वहाँ जाऊँ मैं। तो करो तो बावड़ू, दूर दूर करो तो जाऊँ। जो राखो त्यों ही रहूं, जो देवो सो खूं। जय इब के सतगुरु मिले, सब दुख आँखों रोए। चरणों ऊपर शीस धरूं, कहूँ जो कहनी हो। कबीर गुरु जी मिलेंगे, पूछेंगे अपने दिल की बात गुरु जी तुम ना भूलियो। चाहे लाख लोग मिल जाएं हमसे तुमको बहुत हैं, तुम जैसे हमको नहीं, तुमरे विसारे क्या बने। मैं किसकी शरण में जाऊं, शिव बिरंच मुनि नारद, तिनके हृदय न समाऊं। अवगुण किए तो बहुत किए, करत न मानी और, बावे बंदा बख्श दियो, बावे गर्दन उतार। अवगुण मेरे बाप जी, बख्शो गरीब नवाज, जो मैं पूत कुपूत हूँ, बहुर पिता को लाज। मैं अपराधी जन्म का, नकसिक भरे विकार, तुम दाता दुख भंजना, मेरी करो संवार। सूरत करो मम साइया, हम हैं भवजल माई, आप ही बह जावांगे जो तुम न पकड़ोगे बाँ। बंदी छोड़ दयाल जी, तुम तक हमारी दौड़े, जैसे काग जहाज को सुहजत और नठोरी।
Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, Purna Brahma, Creator of whole universe, Lord of lineage, God Kabir is the Father of all the souls. All souls that are here within the 21 universes are souls of that Supreme God Kabir Ji. Now we are living here in the world of Kal. In this world of Kal, a living being cannot be happy, and we are searching for happiness here. Those who do not have money want to be rich, to be happy. Those who do not have children think that if I have children, I will be happy. The one who is sick thinks that I should become healthy, then I will be happy. The one who is rich thinks that these kings would be happy, and these kings think that happiness will be in heaven. Indra, the king of heaven, thinks that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are happy. We aren't happy. And Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh don't have happiness at all. For example, Sri Ramchandra Ji, incarnation of Lord Sri Vishnu, appeared in Ayodhya after taking birth. In the house of King Dashrath, he got married, and soon after he was exiled. His wife was kidnapped from exile. Then war happened. For 12 years, a war of 2 to 4 hours is enough. After that, after killing Ravan, he brought Sita home. After a few days, after a few years, because of someone's taunt, he abandoned Sita ji, his wife, who was pregnant. He stayed somewhere else, children lived somewhere else. So it is proved from this that Vishnu ji also has no such thing named happiness. Then the same incarnation of Vishnu ji was born in jail in form of Sri Krishna ji. Maternal uncle became enemy. The effort to kill him continued sometimes by Jarasingh, at times by Shishupal or Putna or Kesi, etc. In the end, Lord abandoned Mathura and went to the sea and took refuge on an island, having built a city with one gate, kept whole army there, and spent the rest of his life there. After then, what happened at the end time of Lord Sri Krishna ji? 56 crores had become his descendants, 56 crores. Grandsons, great-grandsons, sons, relatives, grandchildren, and all of them died in front of Sri Krishna ji. There was internal war due to the curse of Durvasa ji. And in front of Sri Krishna ji, the whole family was destroyed. Can that creature be happy before whom all die? So here Supreme God Kabir reminds us that
भजन करो उस रब का जो दाता है कुल सब का। भजन करो उस रब का जो दाता है कुल सब का।
worship the God who is the master of all, father of all. It has been told in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verse number 1 to 4, that the upside down hanging world tree having the root at the top and the branches of the three gunas at the bottom, the root above, which is origin, think that Paramakshar Brahma, complete God. He is the master of all. And three branches below are Rajguna Brahma, Satguna Vishnu and Tamguna Shiva, the saint who tells all the parts separately of this upside down hanging tree is Sahavedvit. He knows the meaning of Vedas, that is, he is a Tattvadarshi saint. The Supreme Lord himself plays this role, comes from Satlok. God destroys the ignorance spread here by Kal. He removes that darkness with his true spiritual knowledge torch and ends the darkness from ignorance by raising the sun of knowledge from true spiritual knowledge. At that time he lives here for some time and recites his nectar speech, which is later recorded. God had said that अक्षर पुरुष एक पेड़ है, निरंजन वाकी डार, तीनों देवा शाखा हैं, ये पात रूप संसार. The part of the tree that is visible outside the ground, which is just outside the ground, the thick part is called trunk, and the root is hidden, secret. The originator is hidden, is concealed. He is not mentioned in the scriptures. God Kabir himself came and told his glory. Understand that trunk is Akshar Purush. Then that trunk has a thick stem considered to be Akshar Purush. And understand the three branches of that trunk that are Rajguna Brahma, Satguna Vishnu and Tamguna Shivji. It has been said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse number 32, that whatever practices have been described from verse number 25 to 31 are not enough, but seekers consider their practice to be destroyer of sins. This type of spiritual practices are described in detail in the speech of Sachidanand Ghana Brahm, Brahmane Mukhe, that is, God himself came and spoke that true spiritual knowledge from his lotus mouth, it is called speech of Paramakshar Brahma. Yagyas have been mentioned in detail, and after knowing them, one becomes completely free from the bondages of destiny. It has been then told in Gita Ji chapter number 4, verse number 34 that understand that true spiritual knowledge that God Himself had come and spoken from an enlightened saint by prostrating and questioning him, by leaving hypocrisy, that Tattvadarshi saint will make you aware of that divine element. With this, one point is clear that even the knowledge giver of Gita is unaware of that true spiritual knowledge. That is why he is asking to go to saints. Now, here in Gita Ji chapter number 15, verses number 1 to 4, God Himself has glorified His glory. Akshar Purush ek ped hai Niranjan Vakidar, which is called Kshar Purush Vakidar.
और तीनों देवा शाखा हैं ये पात रूप संसार.
Now in verse 4 of Gita Ji chapter number 15, it is said that after attaining that true spiritual knowledge, cut the entangled knot of ignorance with the weapon form true spiritual knowledge, that is by understanding. After that, one should search for that supreme position of God, going where the seekers do not return to this world. That means their birth and death ends forever, and the God who has created all the universes should only be worshipped and not of others. The knowledge giver of Gita is advising here not to even worship Him. Why is he saying? Because in Gita Ji chapter number 4, verses 5 and 9, in Gita chapter number 2, verse 12, in Gita chapter number 10, verse 2, He Himself says that Arjun, you and I have had many births, you do not know, I know. With this, it is proved that the knowledge giver of Gita is also in birth and death. This is not complete salvation, nor can there be complete salvation from his practice, and he also dies. So the knowledge giver of Gita in chapter number 18, verse 62 says that Arjun, you go in refuge of that supreme God by whose grace you will attain supreme peace and the eternal supreme abode. If the creature is within birth and death cycle, there can be no peace even if he gets the position of Brahma, even if he attains position of Vishnu or position of Shiva. Small kings are not even worth comparing, as the soul is unhappy till the posts of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. That is why in Gita Ji chapter 7, verse 18, the knowledge giver of Gita says, all the devotees, seekers who understood the Vedas but by not getting enlightened saint have concluded themselves, considered Om Mantra to be the provider of salvation, believed Brahm to be the supreme power, considered him supreme God. Due to this mistake, these generous souls, noble souls, knowledgeable souls are, although good, are noble but remain stuck in my inferior worship. The knowledge giver of Gita says that my attainment means the attainment of Brahma, benefits obtained from Brahma, the chant of Om Mantra is of Brahma, and the benefits from Brahma, it is said, that is my attainment. The knowledge giver of Gita is speaking from within Sri Krishna, that this is inferior, is bad, is useless, because Arjun, birth and death will always remain for you and I. Virtuous souls. In verse 16 and 17 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, 3 men are mentioned, 3 gods. One is Ksharpurush. He is the Lord, owner of 21 universes. He is not the supreme God. Aksharpurush, who is called the trunk of the tree, is the Lord of 7 quadrillion universes. He is not the supreme God. It has been said in verse 16 of Gita chapter 15 that Kshar Purush and Akshar Purush, these two gods are famous, and all souls in their worlds, and they themselves are perishable, and the soul of all is immortal. That is why it is immediately said in verse 17 of Gita Ji chapter 15 that Uttam Purushah Tuanyah Paramatma Adi Udharte. Purushottam, the Supreme Lord, Supreme God, Eternal God is some other who is called the Supreme Soul. Paramatma means the Supreme Soul, and that is the Supreme Soul in whose refuge no living being is unhappy, only obtains happiness. But here, a lot have become gods, self-proclaimed gods. That is why God has been defined as He is called Supreme God, who is the superior, separate from Kshar Purush and Akshar Purush, and He only nurtures everyone by entering in the three worlds. He is the indestructible God. Virtuous souls. All of us used to say brother worship when we used to read in any scripture, in any sect, then all of them used to inspire to devotion of God. Human life is not obtained again and again. God should be worshipped. The main purpose of human birth is to do devotion. But we did not know which God we should worship. Which God shall we worship? It has been said in Gita Ji, chapter number 4, verse number 33 that Arjun, Gyan Yagya is superior to Dravyamaya Yagya. Dravyamaha Yagya is one which is done with money, like someone organizes community meals, performs Shraddh somewhere, or gets a community hall built somewhere, or builds a temple, opens an orphanage, or makes a well or water pot. So it is said here that blindly, without knowledge, the good deeds that you do, before doing that, you should know about it. That is, the Yagya of knowledge is superior. Listen to the spiritual discourse of saints, and after understanding the knowledge, as the saints tell, as the scriptures allow, and as per the evidence in scriptures, do charity in the same way. Then only it is beneficial. Otherwise not. So virtuous souls, we will have to do our spiritual practice by making our scriptures as the base, and only then we will be successful. Otherwise, you must be remembering or reciting these mantras of God from any of the scriptures, reciting it again and again. You cannot attain salvation. You get other benefits, but those rewards are temporary and do not provide salvation, and with that, the purpose of human birth is not fulfilled. So first of all, we should listen to the knowledge that which should be worshipped, like the knowledge giver of Gita says, by all means you go in the shelter of that Tat Brahma. Tat Brahma means go to the shelter of that complete God. Go in the refuge of that God. The knowledge giver of Gita says in chapter 7, verse 29, that the knowledge which I am giving, that search for a Tattvadarshi saint and practice according to that enlightened saint, and after that, the one who takes shelter of this knowledge of mine considering it to be complete, searches the enlightened saint, and then that person who understands the Tat Brahm and becomes acquainted with complete spiritual knowledge and with all the deeds, then they only try to become free from birth and death. Jara means the pain of old age, and Maran means death. They only try to become free from the pain of old age and birth and death. They know that Tat Brahm are familiar with complete spiritual knowledge and are also familiar with all deeds. So Arjun questioned the knowledge giver of Gita in Gita chapter 8, verse number 1. That Kim Tat Brahm, Kim Adhyatam, Kim Karam Cha Purushottam. Who is Tat Brahm? What is that Tat Brahm? And what is this spirituality? Give me the information of all these actions. The knowledge giver of Gita has answered in verse 3 of chapter 8 that he is Paramakshar Brahm, that Tat Brahm. As you just listened to the speech of respected Garib Das Sahib Ji, Bhajan karo us Rab ka, jo data hai kul sab ka.
भजन करो उस रब का जो दाता है कुल सब का.
Worship the one who is the master of all, worship him. Remember him in chapter number 15 of Gita Ji, verse 16 and 17. Three gods have been told. Kshar Purush and Akshar Purush are told to be mortal. All the living beings under them are also suffering from the pain of birth and death. Then in 17th it is said that Yeh Loktrema Avishya Vibharti Avyah Ishwara hai. The one who enters the three worlds and sustains all, he is the imperishable God, Father of all.
भजन करो उस रब दा जो दाता है कुल सब का.
That Paramakshar Brahm, who is the root of the burl-like tree, the whole tree gets food from its roots. So whatever your rituals are, according to the scriptures, the fruits of all those actions are also received from that Supreme God. That God has made a law and given to Kal. He only follows that, and he also keeps misleading so that the souls remain trapped in his web. Now we must choose. We must select which God should we worship. Just as one is a worshipper of Brahmaji, or worships Sri Vishnu Ji, or is engaged in the practice of Sri Shankar Ji. Now the worshipper of Brahmaji will go to Brahmaji's world, and after going there is a restaurant in every world. And inside that restaurant, which is called heaven, the creature goes into heaven and all his virtues are deposited over there. When his virtues end there, then at that time that creature is pushed from there, just like forcefully one is killed here. In the same way he is forcibly sent from there. And the worshipper of Vishnu Ji goes to Vishnu's world, and there is also a common restaurant in the world of Vishnu Ji. Whichever creature goes there, his virtues are deposited there, kept there. When those finish, one receives all facilities from his virtues. As soon as it ends, he dies from there. Forcibly he is sent from there. and the worshipper of Shankar goes to the world of Shiva. There is also a similar common restaurant, a hotel, heaven. The living beings there, after finishing their virtues, immediately come to earth, and this is a very short time in heaven. In the world of these gods, there is a common heaven, common people who keep on doing good deeds. They also get time in heaven. Indra is the king of that common heaven, and even there the creature enjoys his own deeds. For example, if someone stays in a hotel, he eats everything from his expenses. And when the money ends, then he walks from there with a sad face. Thus, heaven is the place to destroy one's virtues, and then after that there is a great heaven which is called Brahmalok. The worshipper of Kshar Purush go to great heaven in Brahmalok, the devout souls who used to say that we do not worship other gods, we only worship Brahma, chant Om Mantra, and they used to consider themselves best, that we are doing the right practice and there is no god above Brahma. Virtuous souls, they too have incomplete knowledge. They were also dependent on incomplete knowledge. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 8, verse number 13, this Kal Brahma, the knowledge giver of Gita, is speaking while entering in Sri Krishna. He is saying that Om iti ekaksharam Brahm Vyaharan Mam Anusamran Yeh Prayati Tyajam Deham Sahayati Paramam Gatim. There is only one Om mantra of me, Brahm, Mam Brahm. This is only one Om word for me, Brahm, Omiti, nothing else. And the seeker who leaves his body while chanting it, Sahayati Paramam Gatim. Whatever benefits one can get from Om mantra, the attainment that is of the level of Om level. In Gita Ji, chapter number 8, verse number 16, it has been said that Om is the chant of Brahma, and by chanting Om of Brahma, one attains Brahmalok. In Gita Ji, chapter 8, verse number 16, it has been said that souls who have gone to Brahmalok are in recurrence. The creatures that have gone to great heaven in that big hotel also come back. They too have birth and death. In Srimad Devi Bhagavad, published from Gita Press, Gorakhpur, in the 7th part, on page 562 and 563, the goddess is preaching to King Himalaya and is giving information about Brahma. She is saying that leaving all worship, only worship one Brahma. His mantra is Om. Worship Brahma. His mantra is one Om. While chanting that Om mantra and targeting to attain Brahm, the seeker who practices attains Brahmalok, attains Brahma. He goes to Brahmalok. Where does Brahma reside? He lives in Brahmalok. Now the knowledge giver of Gita is Brahma. In Gita chapter number 18, verse number 62, in Gita Ji chapter 15, verse number 4, he is clarifying that Arjun, by all means you go in the refuge of that God. There is some other God than the knowledge giver of Gita. With his grace only, you will attain supreme peace and eternal supreme abode. And in verse number 4 of Gita Ji, chapter number 15, it is said that when a Tattvadarshi saint is found after that, One should search for that supreme position of God going where seekers do not come back to this world, and the God who has created all the universes, do only His devotion, remain in His refuge and not of others. The giver of the knowledge of Gita is telling his state that, O Arjun, you and I have had many births, you do not know, I know. With this, it has been proved that the knowledge giver of Gita, who is Ksharpurush, who is also called Brahma, even his seekers are also trapped in web of birth and death, remain trapped in it. And as long as the souls are in the cycle of birth and death, he cannot be happy, cannot attain absolute peace. Therefore, it has been said in Gita Ji chapter 18, verse number 62, that Arjun, by all means you go to the shelter of that Supreme God. Only by His grace you will attain supreme peace and eternal supreme abode. And in Gita Ji chapter 15, verse number 4, it has been clarified that one should search for the supreme abode of that Supreme God, going where the seekers never come back to this world. So this is complete salvation. So those who do spiritual practice till Brahman used to understand that they are making good achievements are also entangled in this cycle of birth and death. This is Brahmakal. They were trapped in the worship of Kal, although sages, great sages, also used to worship Brahma. It has been said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 7, verse number 1 to 5, that, O Arjun, now I will tell you such knowledge. After knowing that knowledge, nothing else will remain to be known. Till Gita Ji chapter 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it has been clarified that there are two natures. One is this Durga. She is the conscious nature, and the rest are these 5 elements, which are divided into 8 departments. Adding all these conscious, ego, are my inert nature. It has been said that I am the strength of the strong, intellect of wise, that is, whenever I want, I can give strength to whomsoever. I can give wisdom to anyone whenever I want, I can take his strength, and whenever I want, I could take the intelligence of that wise man. Virtuous souls Kal gave the power to Arjun when he had to get the war of Mahabharata done, because Sri Krishna Ji was refusing even earlier. He was denying that. Do not fight, destruction will happen. You too can be killed, and Kauravas can also be killed. He used to explain to the Kauravas that war is not good. Your clan will be destroyed. Do distribution calmly. But it did not happen. In the end, Lord Sri Krishna Ji even said that on one side will be my army, and on one side I will be there, and I will not even raise arms. With this, it is proved that Sri Krishna did not want war, did not want at all. When things didn't work out and preparations for war were made, Sri Krishna Ji, becoming Arjun's charioteer, took the chariot, and at the request of Arjun, Sri Krishna Ji took it between both the armies. Now Arjun saw that brothers are standing in front, nephews are standing, husbands of brothers, daughters are standing. So a sage feeling arose in his heart. Will we rule by killing them? Better than this would be we should eat after begging. That would be better. Such a havoc I will not do. Such a catastrophe, such an atrocity. Took this final decision and sat in the back part of the chariot. Now this Kal saw it, who wanted destruction, this Brahm, that the situation is changing. At that same time, he himself came and entered Sri Krishna Ji. He adopted all such tactics that prepared Arjun for war. First, he started explaining the knowledge that, what had you brought? The soul is immortal. Why are you afraid? You have been born several times further, and we will die. Do not think we are born now and will not take birth again. The body is discarded, creature takes another one, told 100 things. But Arjun raised his hands, Lord, I do not understand this matter. I will not fight. In the end, he showed his terrifying form, the real one, that said, I am Kal, I will eat. Now seeing whom even a warrior like Arjun shivered. So can he be God, on seeing whom the heart bursts? He himself is saying that I am Kal in verse 32 of 11th chapter. I have come to destroy everyone. So a destroyer cannot be God, cannot be superior soul. Virtuous souls Brahm spoke by entering Sri Krishna and he got the war of Mahabharata done, got destruction done. When he had to get war done, then he gave Arjun power and got destruction done. He killed a lot and wrote that sin in Arjun's bad account. Then when the entire family of Sri Krishna Ji was destroyed, and even Sri Krishna Ji was also killed by hitting a poisonous arrow by a hunter who hit by mistake. Who was that hunter? That hunter was the soul of Bali who had come in Treta Yuga when Vishnu Ji had come in the form of Sri Ram. At that time, Vishnu Ji in the form of Sri Ram killed Bali, the brother of Sugriv, by deceiving, by hiding behind a tree. Then Bali had said that if you were a warrior, then you should have come in front. You have killed with such cowardice, you will have to suffer punishment and give me revenge. At that time, Kal gave intellect to Sri Ramchandra Ji and said that I will give revenge in Dwapar Yuga. The same Vishnu came in the form of Sri Krishna. The same soul of Bali became a hunter. The hunter made a poisonous arrow which had poison, and Sri Krishna was lying under a tree in a quiet place. He had a padam on the sole of his feet. That padam has a lot of brightness, like 100-watt bulb is lit during the daytime, and its twinkling light is visible amongst the cluster of trees. It looked like a deer is sitting and its eyes are shining. But it was the padam in the feet of Sri Krishna. The hunter didn't think twice and shot from inside the leaves and hit the poisonous arrow in the sole with which Krishna Ji was killed. After that, the 5 Pandavas reached there, who were relatives, and set the duty of Arjun. Sri Krishna Ji had said while dying that you take all the women from here. There is no man left here. People around will insult them. This is my request. Arjun took all the gopis, all the women, and started. He had the same bow with which he had won the war of Mahabharata. Arjun was surrounded by bheels on the way. They beat Arjun, robbed all the money, and even took some women along. Arjun is watching and shivering. That bow is not moving from his hand. Now after that entire episode happened and bheels had gone, Arjun says that this Sri Krishna was our enemy and not relative. He had always cheated us. When I was fighting in the battlefield, he gave me so much power that I could kill 20 with just one arrow, and today I am the same Arjun and the same arrow and bow. Today it is not even working. Here God Kabir Ji says, Kabir Parmeshwar Ji says, Mool lakhe nahi moorkha, ginte hain kyun daal. You are not recognizing its root. Who is its origin? Who is the root of these misdeeds? Lord Sri Krishna Ji was not a cheat. This is all Kal's plan. He says that I control the strength of the strong and intellect of wise. Whenever I want, I can give strength, and whenever I want, I can snatch. At the time when Sri Ramchandra Ji was in exile, Sita Ji was kidnapped, his wife. He was clinging the trees and other animals in the forest. He was crying, and I was asking, "Have you seen my Sita?" Lord Shiva and Parvati were also looking from above. Lord Shiva greeted because he is his elder brother. Parvati saw, "To whom are you bowing?" Lord Shiva said that God Vishnu is below in the form of Ram. I'm greeting him. Parvati said that being God, he weeps. I do not believe that he can be Vishnuji. I will test him. Lord Shiva said that you do not take the test and do not acquire Sita form, you will not remain of my use. At that time Parvati ji said that all right, I will not take the test. When Lord Shiva went out to wander from behind, she acquired Sita form and stood in front of Sri Ramchandra Ji. Now Ramchandra Ji recognized Parvati Ji at that time because Kal had turned on his intellect and turned it off previously. He did not know who took away his wife, and then he became an astrologer, became a foreteller. He immediately recognized that you are Parvati. "Oh, the daughter of Daksh, how did you come here? Why did you leave Lord Shiva?" She was embarrassed. She came and told Lord Shiva that he is really Vishnuji. You were rightly greeting. Then Shivji said that you did it. Took the exam. She laughed and lowered her face. Then from that day Lord Shiva said that you are no longer of my use, you have acquired the form of my mother. The wife of elder brother is like a mother, that you have acquired the form of my mother and I cannot accept you as my wife any longer. Virtuous souls, such is the web of Kal. Now that Parvati thought that he is stubborn, he did not speak. He stopped talking. She stayed with him for many days, but he was not talking with her. He turns his face and sits. Parvati thought that it has become hell and not a home. Then a daughter sees nothing but her maternal house, parents' house. She thought, let me go to my mother for some days, his mind will be normal. Now she came to King Daksha's house at her father's house. There a yajna was going on at King Daksha's house. A religious ritual was being done. And in religious rituals, it was a rule made by Brahmins and sages, whenever a king or someone performs any ritual, then all the daughters and relatives must be invited. King Daksha had invited all his sons-in-laws, but Shiva and Parvati means that she was not invited. His daughter. What was the reason? She, Girija, had married Lord Shiva on her own will. King Daksha was not in favor of this marriage. Even after much opposition, Girija had gone away after marrying Lord Shiva. After being unhappy with this, Parvati and Shiva were not invited. Parvati saw at home that all sisters had come and their husbands have also come. They have been given a proper seat all daily. Portions are also dedicated to them. As Pandits, you must have seen that these Pandits have many tantrums. Just as they get marriage done, get the rounds done, by doing Swaha, Swaha twice, keep rupees 11, and then Swaha, Swaha made them keep 21 there, give 22 to them, give 5 in his hand, put tilak, etc. This is how they do. Similarly, they used to do this there. All the sons-in-laws that had come every day and whatever was their share, give them 500, 500. It was kept in front of them. So this was done. There was no seat of Lord Shiva anywhere, and the sisters of Parvati whose husbands had not come, their seat was put and their share was kept over there. Their place was fixed separately. Shivji didn't have that either. So Parvati went to her mother. The daughter's firmness is on her mother. She went and told her mother that, "Mother, you have called all my sisters, and their husbands have also come, but you did not call your son-in-law, and nor did you invite us." Then the mother said, "Daughter, I had told to your father, but he was insistent, and the fault is yours as well. Daughter, you got married by disobeying your father's orders, with which he got angry. Neither he agrees with me, nor you agree with me. Do not mention it in front of me." Now Parvati felt very bad and went to her father and saluted her father. She said, "Father, why didn't you invite your son-in-law? You have invited all." King Daksha asked, "Who has called you? Why did you come? You should not have come here without invitation. You have done all this on your own will. I don't even want to see him. Such a lunatic who has snakes in his neck. Do I want to be insulted in the society? And you should also not come here. Get out from here. Go back." Now she became very sad because of this. Who? That Parvati. She saw that there is no place for me there with Shivji, and her father has also left me. There is no other option. She got angry and thought, "I will ruin your yagya." What they used to do in the fire vessel, these Brahmins does not mean a particular caste. Whoever is at the position of Guru is called Brahmin. Brahman soye jo Brahm pechane. So they had not recognized this Brahm, but the fake Brahmins were definitely becoming famous in the form of Guru. So what they used to do, they used to make a huge sacrificial vessel just to show, a very big one, 8 feet deep, 10 by 10 wide, and used to put wood in it and pour bowl full of clarified butter, and from the house of king, which wasn't from their home, and the swaha, that thick wood burns very strong. Parvati jumped into that fire sacrificial vessel and got completely burnt. Although she was immediately taken out, but only her skeleton remained, the entire skin and flesh burnt, and only bones remained. When Lord Shiva came to know about this, he started with his army to teach Daksh a lesson. Now Daksh came to know about it, that Lord Shiva has left with all his army, Ganas. Amongst the guests who had come, Brahmaji and Vishnuji were also present. Now they came to know that Lord Shiva is coming along with the whole army. Lord Vishnu tried to go from there, and even Brahmaji also started leaving. Brahmaji left saying that who would want to die here? With folded hands, Daksh told Lord Vishnu that I have called you as my guardian. You were invited till my yagya completed. You have come to protect me. Why are you leaving? Vishnuji said that I will not be able to stay. Vishnuji stopped on repeated requests. On the other hand, Shivji prepared one of his army members, Gana, from his hair with the powers of the mantras and sent him, Bhairav, you go and fight with them. I'm coming. First you deal with them. Lord Vishnu ji and he had a battle. Vishnu fled after being defeated in the war. Lord Shiva also came. Shivji cut off the head of King Daksh. It is a long story. He was apologized, then he got merciful and put a goat's neck on him, put a goat's face from above. Till soul's breath remains, these gods can give them such benefits. Then what did he see? He saw Parvati was burnt there. Ocean of love rose in Lord Shiva. Previously he was sleeping by turning his face, and then he lifted and embraced that burnt skeleton to his chest. And saying Parvati, 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 started roaming like crazy in the forest without even bathing. It is told that he wandered like that for 10,000 years and kept holding the skeleton to the chest, considering it to be Parvati. It is said that Lord Vishnu saw him, that he has become mad in love. It is said that with the Sudarshan Chakra, he cut the skeleton, means the body of Parvati. It is said that where the eyes fell, there Naina Devi, where the body fell, there Vaishno Devi, and where the tongue fell, the temple of Jwala Devi was established. Virtuous souls like the temple of Vaishno Devi, the temple of Jwala Ji, and the temple of Naina Devi, these temples are memories. These were memorables that the history which is in the Puranas, in the coming times, no one should call those a lie. That is why these small memorials were made and priests were placed over there. After collecting money from the people around, they were put on job that you tell the history to visitors who come here to see that this temple has been built like this. This much was work of that priest. Then times changed and people stopped giving him money, so he started taking offerings that you have come, so donate. Generation after generation, it became a custom of giving donation. In reality, they only are a reminder that such incident happened here. Like virtuous souls, let us move forward and complete this story. Now the ongoing point is that bhajan karo us Rab ka jo data hai kul sab ka. Like we worship Shri Brahma Ji, Shri Vishnu Ji, Shri Shiv Ji, the position of these gods will be known by this knowledge. What happened then? When Lord Shiva saw that the skeleton is also not there now, then he got disillusioned. When he got disillusioned, then he thought, with what reason did this happen to me? He found the reason for this with his wisdom, that I got married and trusted my wife, and my wife betrayed me from behind. She went and talked to another man and acquired another form. She could have done anything, due to which he got upset and stopped talking to her. That I used to believe in you a lot, you were also unfaithful. Now whom should I trust? Lord Shiva concluded that I got married, then developed affection in my wife, and the wife turned out to be unfaithful. Now I should make such an effort so that this lust in me ends, due to which I felt the need of a marriage.
आप सुन रहे थे जगत गुरु तत्वदर्शी संत रामपाल जी महाराज जी के मंगल प्रवचन। अधिक जानकारी के लिए विजिट कीजिए हमारी वेबसाइट www.jagatgururampalji.org। संत रामपाल जी महाराज जी के शुभ आशीर्वाद से पूरे विश्व भर में 500 से भी ज्यादा नाम दीक्षा केंद्र हैं, जिन पर संत रामपाल जी महाराज जी द्वारा ऑनलाइन निशुल्क नाम दीक्षा दी जा रही है। अपने नजदीकी नाम दीक्षा केंद्र का पता करने के लिए संपर्क करें 8222880541।